Okay, everyone. Todd Giles back here again talking about AR105 Art Appreciation and chapter 9, and I think we're going to get through it on this one. I just can't get around talking about Michelangelo and his work, so that's probably my problem, especially just not editing down enough, but I really want to show you what he's created instead of just like 3 images. You just don't get it full impact from what the textbook gives, although I love this textbook. Okay, so let's talk about Raphael. Yes, he is one of the Ninja Turtles from the cartoons, but this is a real guy. Now, what's he doing? He comes to the Vatican as a very young artist, highly praised. He's only like 17, 18 years old, but he's already known for how talented he is. And he comes at a time right before Michelangelo is doing the Sistine Chapel. In fact, he really wanted to do the Sistine Chapel because he was a painter and Michelangelo was a sculptor. And there is some mythology, stories going around ever since that time that Raphael and his party, the people around him, wanted to get Michelangelo totally out of the good graces of Julius II, and they prompted Julius II to select Michelangelo to do the Sistine Chapel. And it did backfire because he did a great and wonderful job, and it's one of the great masterpieces of all history. So Raphael was not able to actually do it. He's a bit of a playboy, but this is the type of artwork that he's creating, that he becomes famous for are Madonna and Child, Madonna and Jesus, over and over again. But some of them really are masterpieces, like this one, which is actually a grand, it's about 8 feet tall. This one is also about that size. So he does get better and better and better. But look at the faces. That may be very early on, but this face, that face really is on a template. This is sort of like a cottage industry that you do that same pose, that same face, but you just change around what the babies do. And that really is what made him rich and famous, because lots of people wanted those pieces. There's a better view of Madonna in the meadow. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever seen this before? Ladies, you may have seen these note cards or a poster, something like that, but it really is a Raphael, and here's the full piece. It's a Raphael with the Madonna and the baby Jesus striding forward, and it's in a small church in Germany, actually. So it's been moved. It was originally in Italy. So just need to do that. Now, Raphael's main masterpiece. Now, he did lots and lots of frescoes in the papal apartments, and this is just one room. So what you see here is a room with 4 walls, and on the 4 walls, he's hired or ordered to create 4 different scenes. And this was a library, and one of the scenes is to be the School of Athens, talking about learning and philosophy. So I love to show this image of this archway, the ceiling, one of the other paintings over here, but this is really the grand masterpiece that's awesome. So let's take a look at that. So here it is, an overview. You've got this arch, which is architectural in the room, and this is a flat wall covered in plaster and then painted as a fresco. So what you see is a structure going back into space with these grand arches, these barrel vaults. Here is a circular area, so this is a rotunda, grand statues on either side, and you have this wall of people here. And these people represent great philosophers of the Greek age, classical Greek philosophers. Okay, and then over here, we have mathematicians, and they have chalkboards, and they have their books, and they're writing mathematical theories, and they're talking about geometry, and all the learning that the Greeks brought, and the Far East brought to philosophy and learning. And then over here, you have astronomers, spheres with the stars, and they're discussing different things and how the planets go around other planets, or do they go around the sun, or does the sun go around the planets? Is it a Earth-centered universe? Is it a sun-centered universe? So he's bringing in some modern Galileo things going on within the church, but also what the Greeks brought into it. And then in the middle here, we see two of the main philosophers, and I always get mixed up who is who, but I'll show you a detail here in a second. There's this guy, bald, long gray hair, beard, and he's pointing upward. Who could that be? Well, it's actually a cameo appearance by Leonardo. So Raphael is actually giving an attaboy thumbs up to Leonardo, one of his heroes in the arts. Now, it doesn't have his name on there or anything, but we know from self-portraits that is Leonardo. We don't know who the other guy is, but instead of pointing upward, the philosopher has his hand out with his palm down. So we have this little dispute going on as, does all philosophy and truth come from above, from heaven, or does all truth come from earth and experience? So you've got that. They're striding forward. Now, interesting here, you've got this guy. And of course, right when I am talking about it, I forget his name, but he's the Greek philosopher that his theory was, just relax, take it easy. Why do anything? So he's just lounging there on the steps. And then we have this guy in the front. Who could that be? So let's take a better look at him. It's actually Michelangelo. So even though Raphael did not like Michelangelo, he actually put him here as another attaboy, as a cameo appearance, as lifting him up as a great artist, as one of his heroes. So, but look at him. He is very different. All the other people are wearing togas and brightly colored, but he has this purplish, dank, ugly piece of clothing on, okay? And then he has these rough boots. And we know it's Michelangelo. One, he has a broken nose, a beard, disheveled hair. These are dogskin boots that Michelangelo was famous for wearing, and he took them off about 3 or 4 times a year. And disgusting stories go along with that I won't go into. Here's a better image of Leonardo, and you see that hand pointing up. Now go back and remember Leonardo's work. They're filled with that hand with the finger up, okay? Pointing up, pointing sideways. That's very important to Leonardo and his work. So Raphael really knows what he's talking about there. So, but that's really enough about Raphael. You've seen his high points. So let's go into Venice and some other artwork to finish up the High Renaissance and Mannerism. Okay, so the High Renaissance in Venice, and then we'll do a little bit of Mannerism. So here on the map, you can see Florence, Rome. Venice is all the way up here at the top of the Adriatic Sea. So it's here. Because of its proximity to the Alps and to Germany and Northern Europe, there was trade quite a bit down here. So they actually very early had oil paint. And it's very good that they had oil paint, because you can't really do a lot of fresco around the sea because of that humidity in the air. The fresco, the plaster in the fresco does not dry very well. very quickly. So the artist here learned to use oil paint and really used it to its fullest. Here's an altarpiece by Bellini. This is great color, and even this doesn't really show the true color and size of it. But they're really wonderful in showing space of shadow and detail. You see the light streaming in this way, that this looks three-dimensional like a little room, but actually this is painted, a column that's painted, but here matching it is a column that's actual architecture in the real world. That this is real world, this is canvas, and then this is real world again. So they're doing some great and wonderful pieces of artwork. Now, one of the best pieces of artwork is this by Titian, The Assumption of the Virgin. In short, what makes it great? Well, great color, massive size, it's an altarpiece. But look what he does here. You've got the apostles down below, and Mary, the mother of Jesus, has died. And within Catholic dogma, God comes down to take her to heaven before her body can rot. So here's God coming down to get her, and she's being lifted up on this cloud by all these little cherubs. And this is about the time that all the little babies with wings come into the forefront in art. But you see a circle here. Now look at the whole. You've got a circle here, you've got a squared off bottom, so you've got a square and a circle within the same piece of artwork. So geometrically, it really is playing with what you can do with space. Plus you have this brightness here, and then all the activity, and everyone is looking up, 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 and even Mary is looking up, but God, the Father, is looking down. So you have this interaction between the people. This is the church that it was in. Won't really get into that. Now, there's lots of other great and awesome Venetian artwork during this time, but we don't have time for it right now. So let's go straight on to Mannerism and get this finished up. So Mannerism is a whole new, different time period, art style, and here are the hallmarks. That it's somewhat short, it's only about 80 years that it was really in vogue. Really rejected the calm balance and the realism and the harmony of the High Renaissance. And where does it come from? It comes from the type of artwork that Michelangelo was creating later in his life, that even he started moving away from that normal, harmonious body image that he would create. And his bodies that he did late in life would have elongated arms and legs, but the Mannerists were somewhat of his students, took it farther, and they made it really out there, and they made it sensual, they made it bizarre, they distorted things. So anytime that you see elongated bodies, necks, arms, strange things going on, strange color, more than likely it's Mannerism. So here's one of them. This is by the artist Parmigianino, so like Parmesan cheese Nino. So he's from Parma. He's doing things like this. Strange hair. Where's her leg? Where's it go? Where is the ground? If he is standing here, then where are they standing? Things just don't look right if you really start investigating. If she's sitting down here, he's standing up, where's this person standing? Look at this stance of John the Baptist here, kissing the baby Jesus. Look at the skin colors that are different. Very, very strange. Look at the size of her body compared to everybody else and her head. It's just strange. But one of the strangest is the Madonna of the long neck. Look how, there's so many things to go over on that. It's horrible. But then we have El Greco. And El Greco did things like this, that strange color, elongation of the body. And this one, he is an excellent painter of realism, so that's what he does on the bottom. But then at the top, he's doing full-on mannerism and the strangeness of what's going on. So you have in the same painting two different styles.